Okay, at this time, can I have the best man, David Mill, please?
Will and Charlotte, that was absolutely fantastic. Charlotte, the perfect date today. Charlotte, come on. When Patrick first asked me to be his best man, I remember going through a range of emotions, starting with just shock, and then fear. I was flattered to be asked to be his best man, but after a while, and I would think about it and think about having to speak up here in front of all these people, I got really uncomfortable, nervous, and I told Patrick, I said, Patrick, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. He said, you've got to do it. I said, I'm not going to do it. He said, you have to. I said, pick somebody else. He said, no. We went back and forth like this for a while, and at some point, I noticed like tears in his eyes. He's on his knees. I don't know if it was pity or... I ultimately decided to be here. Essentially the same thing that happened to Maddie. Right? Anyway, my name is David, and I am Patrick's favorite male first cousin on his Aunt Carol's side, I would say. I drove up from Knoxville, Tennessee, a few days ago to be here. And I've known Patrick my entire life, or no, his entire life. Mine's close, but not quite. I've known him his entire life. We didn't really get close, though, until our college years. When I say our college years, I'm 7 years older than Patrick. But I think we finished about the same time, right? I slowed down so you could catch up. That's the kind of cousin I am, right? But we've lived in different states for most of our relationship, and we get to see each other a couple times a year. But for the most part, we've gotten close over phone conversations, hours and hours a week. We would talk on the phone. And what I did, for those of you that don't know Patrick, or just trying to get to know Patrick, is I made a list of things that we talk about on the phone. Give you a little snapshot of what kind of person he is and who he is. We do this all the time. Superheroes. Science fiction TV shows and movies. Those could be three things. The relative merits of an open source operating system like Linux versus a proprietary OS like Microsoft Windows. We've talked about that. The feasibility of building a wood-burning, steam-driven generator that can supply enough electricity to power an underground bunker in the event of a zombie apocalypse. That one we do all the time. We're nerds, Patrick. We are big nerds with a capital nanu. Well, there's more, though. We talk about music. Patrick's a drummer. And food. Relationships. Feelings. Love. We're chicks. We're nerd chicks. We're nerd chicks. Actually, Patrick makes it tough to do a traditional best man speech, because in a traditional best man speech, there would be a point where I would share stories about Patrick, wild and crazy stories where he just cut loose and just went nuts, just tales of debauchery. But he's not like that. There aren't many stories like that. Generally colors within the lines. He's not the kind of guy who would get arrested for drunk, disorderly conduct or streaking across the MSU campus on a cold October game day. Or wake up in a parking lot of a brothel in Tijuana with 5 pesos in his pocket, a headache, and a tattoo that says Blanco Magic on his shoulder. Actually, this would be a lot easier if I were doing this for cousin Jeff. Right? Right? Practically writes itself. Right? So, actually, he doesn't make it easy to make a traditional best man speech, but he makes it very easy to see why a woman as beautiful and intelligent and charming as Maddie would take him as a husband. Patrick is truly a superhero. He has a moral code that he lives by that is born of a union between faith and reason. Patrick takes the hard road when it's the right thing to do. He says the tough words when they're hard to say and hard to hear. He does the right thing with courage and consistency and authenticity. And my little cousin, who I look up to in so many ways, I'm honored to be your best man. I am lucky to be your cousin, and I'm profoundly grateful to have you as best friend. So, that's good. I want to share just a little bit of marital advice to both of you. This is very important, and I know I might not be the most. Probably shouldn't do this. I'm a single man, right? Single by choice, not mine necessarily. But nevertheless, I asked a bunch of people. I asked all around. And I asked a bunch of people at work, and I came across Liz Malloy. Liz Malloy is 117 years old, I think. She's been married for 100 of those years to Fred. And I said, Liz, what's the secret to a long, healthy, happy marriage? She says, it's very easy. So listen, she says, I always let him have my way. She went on to say that people who think that marriage is a 50-50 compromise know nothing about women or fractions. So please raise your glasses, whatever you've got right now, raise your glasses. My wish for you in the days ahead is more sunshine than rain, and may your love and your faith and commitment and patience be your umbrella. To Patrick and Matt. Cheers. I'm gonna hand the mic over to Ron Herbst, wherever Ron is, for just a minute. You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't have all the hues.